Hey Lovebugs, it's Nikki from Call Me Ruby, and I pray you are having the most amazing day or evening. As always, I would like to thank my new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you as a part of this ministry, this family. For those who've been with me from the beginning, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. So I don't want to delay in getting to the meat of this message. Listen, this is just going to be me allowing the Holy Spirit to flow as He desires. There are some things that have been in my heart since yesterday that I just want to just, release and talk about and just see what God's wanting to open up through this conversation. The title of this message is going to be The Favor Factor. You are the favor factor. Now listen, we hear so much mention in regards to women in the Bible and just women in our time marrying into wealth, not always pertaining to monetary now. Wealth can pertain to so many things, but when it comes to the type of men that women are paired with in the Bible, what we often hear mentioned is, wow, look at the wealth that she was married into. Look at the kind of man that God provided for her, which is beautiful in its own right. But what I want to talk about today is how we as women should be just as focused on what we bring to the table and how we are indeed our man's favor factor. The woman of God's choosing will impact that man's life in so many ways. When we as women are aligned to God's perfect will and plan for our lives, we are able to bring that man rest, to bring that man peace. And we all know peace is everything. You can have all the money and things in the world and not have peace, not have your soul satisfied. We have come to understand as believers that only the things that God gives, His gifts, the person He chose for us, only that can satisfy us on a soul level. You will indeed satisfy His soul because you are indeed His good thing. This is just to clarify that we're not supposed to be just sitting around waiting for God to just drop this man of our dreams into our laps, but we need to focus on how we are the favor factor. What are we supposed to bring to that situation? Who are we supposed to be for that man? What has God placed in us to add to this relationship? The word says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and he obtaineth favor from the Lord. It said, you are his good thing. By you, he obtaineth favor. You are his good thing, his honey pie sugar bunch. God said man should not be alone. For those whom he has given the portion of marriage, it is not his desire that you be alone. God himself said, Adam, man needed a helpmeet that was comparable to him. Another translation says a suitable helper. We were created to be a suitable helper for our man. You were created because of a need that God identified when looking at Adam. There are some things in you that your Adam needs. Are y'all hearing this? I want you to know who you are and what you bring to that relationship. But you must sit at the feet of the Father and allow Him to do what He needs to do in you, to reveal you, to show you what you're working with. And in doing so, you will only accept the one He has for you, because you will see. You can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I'm so random, but that's serious though. You really can see different from the lens of the Father when you let the Father work on you. I think about Sarah and Abraham. Every union that God brought together had purpose, and it was strategic, and He did not just put random people together without thought, without care, concern, without thinking about what each brought to the other. Every wife in the Bible, God intentionally put with their spouse because she was the favor factor. She was what that man needed, and together they fulfilled a common purpose. God chose Sarah for a reason. There were components in Sarah that matched perfectly with what Abraham needed in a wife. The call Abraham had on his life definitely required a Sarah. And while she may not have been perfect, as none of us are, she was exactly what Abraham needed. Her very name, which God changed to Sarah, meant princess. She was his princess. And this princess went on to be the mother of nations. He promised her she would be the mother of nations, and she only was able to receive that by aligning with the man whom he chose to be the father of nations. Part of our purpose is connected with the one God chose for us. Yes, we'll hold within ourselves. Yes, we have great purpose alone, but together, listen, God has much in store. You haven't seen nothing yet. That is why it is so important that we allow God to bring his divine choice into our lives. There are things we just cannot reach. And that's just the truth of the matter. There are things that he has placed within us that can only burst forth, that can only be released if we connect with the one of his divine choice. There could be no Isaac without the two of them uniting. They brought forth that which led to the lineage of Jesus Christ. There is purpose in every union. You look at these unions and you see the intentionality of God. You see why he chose them to be together. You see what it brought about and the results of it. God is intentional, and he is going to do that for you all. When you two come together, it will be very apparent why God chose you for each other. If he hasn't revealed that already, he will begin to do so. Those of you who know who your kingdom spouse is, God may have revealed to you why it is that he's bringing you two together. You may have been able to identify areas where you can feel a need in his life, where you can see where you fit in, where you can see that the things God has placed within you will add to him, will help him, will assist him. He may have revealed that to you. If not, it's coming. Posture yourself and ask him to give you eyes to see why he's putting you two together. He will, because he wants you to know everything about you God has brought about for a reason. Every characteristic. It could be the joy you possess. Maybe it's the way you light up the room wherever you are around him. Maybe it's just the way you look at him that brings ease to his soul. The way you smile at him. How gentle you are with him. How you speak to him. All those things add to that man and encourage him to continue becoming who he is for the Lord and his purpose and for you. For most of Sarah and Abraham's life, they were moving around. God knew that Abraham needed a wife that was able to adapt to a variety of situations without complaining, without murmuring. God knew he needed a wife that was able to just be on board with the plans God had for their lives. Because listen, it got rather interesting. She had to pretend to be his sister at some point. Some of us would have been like, excuse me? If our husband told us to pretend to be his sister, how many of us would have been able to handle that? To handle that which may have come as a result of that. But she was a writer. She was there for her man. And her strength, resilience, humility, and dignity for her husband resulted in her promise being fulfilled. Her obedience brought about the fulfillment. She became the mother of nations. Proverbs 12:4 states that a wife of noble character is a crown to her husband. She is his crown. But a disgraceful wife is like decay in the bones. What a difference. When I looked up noble, the definition of noble, the first thing I saw was having outstanding qualities. Outstanding qualities. God is he who causes us to have outstanding qualities. The process brings about outstanding qualities. His love brings about outstanding qualities. Sitting at his feet brings about outstanding qualities. These outstanding qualities causes you to be like a crown on your husband's head. To be his crown is to enhance who he is, to bring, to add to him. A crown is also a symbol of royalty, status. He is looked at a certain way because of who you are in his life. And when a man has a noble wife, a virtuous wife, it shows within him. It shows in how he carries himself. It shows in his workmanship. It shows in so many areas. It's giving me everything but the bagel seasoning. Like, it's just extra. And it is said that a disgraceful woman in the home brings decay to his very bones. That's scary. That is scary. If your bones are cracking and popping, it's probably your fault. I'm just kidding. I can hear it now. You're the reason why these bones cracking like this. Sorry, y'all. I digress. A disgraceful wife will break a man down. Who we attach to affects how we flow. It affects our workmanship. It affects what we do. Because you cannot live with someone and it not affect you in some shape, way, or form. Listen, I know men can testify to this. There's nothing like coming home to a woman you're happy to come home to. Someone that you can't help but think about all day long. Because she is your crown. Because you can trust her. When I was studying or inquiring about what a good thing is to a man, what qualities make a woman a good thing, trust was one of them. When a man can trust you, that is everything. A good thing is a woman whose husband can safely trust her with his heart, the matters of his heart, his business, his purpose. She is his peace. Peace goes along with trust. They intertwine. He can trust her. He has peace with her because he can trust her. She has qualities that put this man at ease. She's humble. She's gentle. She's kind. She builds his esteem. She recognizes that she is called to be his helpmeet, to add to come into agreement with the plan that God has for them. Proverbs 31:10 states, "A wife of noble character, who can find her? She is worth far more than rubies." Listen, it is not easy to find a woman like you. If that doesn't make you strut just a little bit different, I don't know what will. Listen, it's hard out in these streets for these men. We thought we had it bad. We're not the one that has to find this good thing. So imagine how it is trying to find this good thing, not just a good thing, but their good thing. When a man is aligned to God's perfect will and plan for his life, he will only accept that which is from God. So what does that mean? It means that we as women must align to God's perfect will and plan for our lives so he can connect us with the man who is seeking us. A lot of us are coming out of our process, what we call our wilderness season, into this place of promise and receiving the promises of God. And that is why we have now become visible to the men God has for us. Now, from our perspective, sometimes the way is based upon us still being in that place of formation. Formation as it pertains to becoming who we are for our purpose and our future spouses. Rubies are formed underground. Much is going on underground to ensure that we become the beautiful, radiant jewels that they are. We're formed with pressure, with heat, and it's not easy to find such rare, unique jewels. God protects us in all sorts of ways, and sometimes he will hide us to keep the wrong person from seeing us. He will only open the eyes to the one who he desires to find us at the appointed time. So that's why it's not always some easy peasy thing as it pertains to God giving you your future spouse, but it's easy peasy in regards that there's no work on your part as far as going out and trying to find it. God will send it your way if you seek him first. Once again, it all goes back to alignment. He has to be positioned and aligned to find you, his good thing. And you have to be aligned and positioned to be found. Verse 11 says, her husband has full confidence in her. He has full confidence in her, and he lacks nothing of value. Nothing of value. Does that not say favor factor or what? When this man finds you, his good thing, he will lack nothing of value. That means the things that God truly sees as valued, he won't lack it because he has found his good thing. It's a beautiful thing when your husband has his full confidence in you, when he can trust that he can talk to you about any and everything without judgment, without fear of ridicule, without fear of it being thrown back at him at a later date or later time for, ill reasons. When a man has full confidence in you, listen, the sky is the limit in what God can do in your relationship. And like the scripture said, you lack nothing of value. And verse 12 says, she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. You being who you are will bring that man good all the days of your life. It is a good thing having you around. Proverbs 31:30 says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. These men that now see us, that God has chosen for us, will see us far beyond our appearance. They will see, they are looking at the ruby that has been underground, allowing God to take them through the process. The ruby that has been shaped, polished, and cut just right. They're looking at that. Your spirit is radiating so brightly that they can't help but see you as their good thing. God has given them eyes to see you as that good thing, that virtuous woman, that wife of noble character. It's no longer good day in the Lord, sis. No, it's looking real wifey-ish. They're seeing you as wifey material, y'all. But it's all because of who you have become in Christ. They will be that husband that praises you because of what you have allowed God to do in your life. They will nurture that. They will appreciate that. And they will see you as that favor factor. And they're not going to waste any time with expressing to you how they feel. And they are coming for you. Proverbs 31 verses 25 through 26 is another great one. It states, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Listen, you are going to bring this man wisdom. God has given us the eye to see things in a way that's different than the way a man sees it. And it's purposeful. And it's strategic, and it is to be a help to our husband. It is through our tongue that we will offer faithful instruction because of our love for this man, because of our dedication and devotion to the call God has upon our union and our lives. By us staying connected to the Father, sitting at his feet, God will give us specific instructions as it pertains to this man, our life together. Sometimes we don't think that a man desires strength from us. We see this man as the provider of strength, our protection. But sometimes a man just wants to see that you can be his strength, whether it be simply laying his hand on your shoulder, whether it be allowing him to just vent about whatever. It can be whatever. When I think about dignity, I looked it up and the definition was worthy of honor and respect. Worthy of honor and respect. He wants to feel as if he is worthy of your honor and your respect. And God has made us exactly who we need to be for the man that he chose for us. And how did he do it? Via the process, via the heat, via the pressure, via the sitting at his feet, via the realm, via the word. He has given us and clothed us with that strength and with that dignity and with the wisdom that will be everything in these marriages. Listen, I am a sucker for Christmas movies. I will admit, I so enjoy watching those romantic movies that come out on Hallmark and around Christmas time. And the other day I watched one that was entitled Cooking Up Christmas, and it was on YouTube. God brought this movie to mind as he began to download these things about favor factor. And in this movie, the leading male character, he was a baseball player, and he was having issues with his, with an injury and feeling some kind of way about having to retire and feeling like it would take away from who he was and all that stuff. And he hires a chef, this woman chef. If I recall correctly, her name was Chloe. And she comes in and totally transforms his family. She just came in and caused him to look at his current situation, which indeed looked troubling at first, and caused him to see it from a totally different lens. That is what a woman of God's choosing will do. That is what you will do to the man that God has for you. Although he was very well established in his career, had worked years to build what he built, Yet she was still able to come in and fill the present need in his life without even really trying, just being who she was. She was able to identify what that need was or needs were. Hear that in the spirit. Who she was, who she had become, was everything that her future spouse needed. God is so good. He just keeps dropping in a little extra action on top of what he already did. He reminded me that in the movie, both were in a place of transition. Hear that, you all? She had just been let go from a job. She was a well-known chef. She had trained in a great school. She was very good at what she did. But for whatever reason, she was let go from her prior job as a chef. She didn't understand why, because she had did everything that was asked of her. But for whatever reason, this guy she worked for let her go. And as he did so, that is when she was hired by this well-known, famous baseball player to be a chef for his family for the holidays. Oh, okay. God, all right, calm down. She was only hired for a seasonal position. Hear this, y'all. She was hired and asked to be a chef simply for the holidays. There was an appointed time in which she was supposed to be, y'all. There was an appointed time for her to meet this man who in the movie later became her boo, okay? Had she not have lost her job, are y'all hearing me? I'm trying not to get too excited because I already talk fast when I get excited. I'm sure you all figured that out. But listen, had she had not been let go, she would not been free to take this job as a chef. It was seasonal, appointed in every aspect, you all. There are situations in our lives that we don't understand why A, B, or C happened. We don't understand why we had to lose this, or that person had to do this, or this had to happen at this time. It didn't make sense to us in the natural. But God is causing all those things to make sense. He's tying all those loose ends. He's opening our spiritual eyes to see that it had to happen. No matter how negative it may have appeared to be for you, it had to happen because there was purpose even in it. You had to be available. You had to be free for what God was bringing into your life. The new. Are y'all hearing this? Are you excited? Because I sure am. And it did not only affect him, but it affected his family. She found favor in the eyes of the children, and even in the one who did not like her at first, she won her over. There's some of you who are marrying a man that already has children, and God is going to give you his supernatural favor. He's going to cause situations that may normally have been difficult to come to you with ease. Listen, have y'all saw that movie, The Perfect Holiday? I think it was with Gabrielle Union and Morris Chestnut, and the kids were not happy about this new man their mom was dating, and they had what you call the treatment. I'm gonna give him the treatment, and it was all these pranks and whatnot. Listen, you're not gonna have to go through the treatment, because God is gonna cause you to have favor. What God has caused to be in you, revealed in you, grown in you, is what that man and his family will need to shift it, to cause it to operate and flow and function as God always desired. You are the favor factor. In the movie, the mother of the baseball player was very difficult to deal with. She was not at all on board with the two of them falling in love. She had her own idea of who she thought her son should be with, and she did everything she could to sabotage this. And by Chloe staying in character, being who she was despite how she was being treated or perceived, her just being her authentic self is what eventually won over this mother. And that's how it's going to be with you all. Not only will you have favor with this man that God has chosen for you, but you will have favor with others in his circle, others who are close to this man, others who are connected to you all. Not that it's necessary, but there's a divine purpose in those connections and why he is showing you favor. Even from those you never imagined would see you for who you were. And listen, at the end of the movie, this man was so taken aback by how she just came in and just plugged into their lives, added to their lives, and his budding love for her, his appreciation for her, him being able to see her and identify her as a good thing, this caused him to do something really, really special for her. He went out and leased a building for her to have her own little spot as a chef. Her dream was to have her own cafe, and he went out and leased a spot they both had found while they were out one day and presented it to her over Christmas dinner. How beautiful is that? That brings to mind the story of Ruth and Boaz. When he saw Ruth's noble character, her humility, her work ethic, everything about her, but more importantly, her spirit. Because her spirit and her love for God was what drove all those things to be. It is what caused her to be who she was and react the way she did in each situation. Boaz recognized the Spirit of the Lord in her because he was indeed a man of God. He recognized that in her, and it prompted him to want to give to her, to make things easier for her, to protect her. Like in this movie, the man that God has for you will see your noble character. They will see your love for God, your dedication, and be prompted to add to you. Be prompted to cover you. Be prompted to protect you. Be prompted to provide for you. Y'all, isn't God good? And it wasn't just one-sided. She added and he added. They both added in the ways God was calling them to add to one another. And it was just beautiful. I encourage you all to watch this movie. Again, it was called Cooking Up Christmas. It was such a cute movie. I may or may not have cried, okay? But check it out if you enjoy a good old romantic Christmas movie. So I say all this to encourage you that while you are waiting, instead of focusing on the fact that I'm still single, when is this going to happen? I know it's coming. Allow God to speak more on this favor factor. What are the things he has caused you to become for this man? What things does he want you to use to add to this man? Because like I said in the beginning, he will reveal to you things that he is designed to use you for to add to this man. So many are just dumbfounded to know that yes, there is a person he chose for you. There is a way he foresaw your relationship before the beginning of time. There are things that he has called you to do. It's not just oh, this person seems cool. This person makes me feel special. No ma'am and no sir. God has a plan, and he is inviting us to partake. He's inviting us to sit at his feet and allow him to reveal to us what his plan is. So listen, know that you are that favor factor. You are his good thing. Allow him to continue to do what he's doing in you, to encourage your spirit, to cause you to know you are something, honey. You are a ruby. You are beautiful. You are wonderfully made. You are rare. You are unique. You shine like nobody's business, okay? You are the exact thing that man's been praying for. There's no other like you. There's no other replica. No one can imitate you. And that man is blessed to have you. Stop worrying about things that don't amount to a hill of beans, because you've been fashioned and formed for him. So let all that other stuff go, because he's coming and there's nothing you can do about it but not accept him. And I know you're not going to do that. So listen, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for all the love, for sharing what you share. Y'all, I am overwhelmed at the amount of love and the kind words you all speak. It really brings so much joy. Know that I'm praying for you. Know that I'm praying that God continues to lead, guide, give you strength, the peace you need. And I am excited about the testimonies that are coming in and that will continue to come in, because God is moving, honey. God is moving. He likes to move and move it. Okay, there I go again, y'all. But anywho, I'm just so excited, and I want you all to be excited as well. I love you guys so much. Be blessed, and until next time.